my good sister, Michelle Obama. She said, I'm not going to the inauguration. That's it. That's all. I don't owe you no explanation. Let no be no. I said, I ain't going.
All right, that's it. Dishonor. Dishonor on your whole family. Make a note of this. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
What it do, what it do, what it do. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Run the Receipts. I am your host, Mr. Receipts. Today I wanted to take a look at President Obama and his wife, Michelle Obama. So Obama went to Trump's inauguration today, but he went by himself. Let's take a look at this video and then we'll do some commentary on it. Now, as you saw, President Barack Obama went to the inauguration, the 2025 inauguration of President Donald J. Trump. He went by himself. So usually when we think of Barack, typically the black community always thinks of his wife, Michelle, as well as being side by side. This man led the country for 8 years. He was responsible for Osama bin Laden, that situation. He helped with let's take a look. Matter of fact, let's just take a look at some of his record. That way we don't have to guess. So let's take a look at some of the things that he's done. It says domestic policy decisions dominated the first 100 days of the Obama administration. So some of the things he did: the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act, which encourages fair pay for all workers and established new methods of protesting unfair paychecks, was the first signed legislation of the administration. He did in March 2010, after announcing his intent for healthcare reform in a 2009 address to Congress. President Obama signed the Affordable Care Act. So you have that. He dealt with the Obama administration centered its foreign policy on drawing down the number of American forces stationed overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan. On May 2nd, 2011, President Obama announced to the nation that the United States had conducted an operation that resulted in the death of Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. So you have that. President Obama also obtained congressional approval for military action against Syria. You also have President Obama announced plans to normalize foreign relations with Cuba in conjunction with President Castro, including reopening the U.S. Embassy in Havana in July 2015. So those are just a few accomplishments that this leader of a whole nation, a leader of men, we had to follow orders from this man. And let's say, for example, if I was in the military during this time, if he was to ask me to lay my life down on the line in the Afghan war, if I would have told the president, the leader of America, if I would have told him no, I would have been in prison. They would have sent me to prison. This man has done well for this country. And I say done well because in the black community, that's how he's spoken of, him and Michelle. So this man has done well for America, and he has made this community proud. They looked at him as a leader and a leader of men, and also an inspiration in the black community and the black household. So you mean to tell me that he has a lot of things on his resume, but one of the discussions that's gonna be had from here on out is his wife making the decision to not be next to this man as he's walking inside of the inauguration. And you'll have people say, specifically women, and I'll even say black women from my community, they're praising Michelle Obama and telling the world that we stand by her. But it makes absolutely no sense, because Michelle should be standing next to her man. He is a leader. Not only was he a leader in the world, but he's supposed to be able to lead his household. And the fact that she's not standing next to him says a lot. You mean to tell me that this man can drop bombs in Afghanistan? You mean to tell me he can unalive Osama bin Laden? You mean to tell me that he can create all these policies? He can put his face out there to where he needs security for the rest of his life. All those things is admirable. All those things is the signs of a leader. But in your household, you can't even direct your wife to be able to walk next to you, even though she doesn't agree with Trump. At this point in stage of what's going on, it has nothing to do with Trump. This has everything to be in unity with your husband and not letting him go through this alone. But instead, you make it about you. And this is what people are always going to remember. And some would say, well, Trump didn't go to Biden's. Okay, Trump didn't go. And of course, his wife didn't go, but his wife didn't go because Trump didn't go. And Trump had an issue with the voting, but that's an issue between two presidents and two men. That has nothing to do with the woman. And for some reason, when the man becomes the president, the husband becomes the president, now the woman believes that she's the president also. And you see this every time, whether it's a CEO of a company, the wife believes she's the CEO of a company. If you're in the military, if your husband's a high-ranking official, the wife believes that she's a high-ranking official also. It never seems to amaze me when men become leaders. The wife tries to upstage the man to make everybody else see, or try to make some kind of realization for everyone to see that he's normal. Like she's the one that wants to knock him off of the pedestal. And that never made any sense to me when it comes to a husband and wife. But you mean to tell me that in this moment, she could not support her husband and walk next to her husband? And again, women will think that there's nothing wrong with that. But let me tell you this from a man like myself, who would consider himself a leader based off the things that I've done myself. If my wife didn't show up to an event where I have been a leader in the community and it's now time for me to pass it along to someone else, whether me or this man disagrees, of course I would want my wife to stand by me. I may not make it a big deal in the, for the world to see, but I myself would know that if his wife and family's gonna be there, mine damn sure better be next to me also. So the fact that she didn't stand next to this man is very telling. And the fact that the black community supports it is the reason why the community is the way that it is. Women will say that they want a leader until it's something that they don't agree with, until it's someone that they don't like. And then they believe by upstaging the person that they don't like, they don't recognize that you're also upstaging your husband. So you mean to tell me that Barack has to go through this by himself? And it is an embarrassment, whether you believe it or not. The people that are around him, like Bush and Clinton, who they both have their wives with them, yes, as men, yes, we look at those things, ladies. We look at those things and we compare with each other. And the fact that you men are there with your wives and I'm not here with my wife, yes, I would feel a certain type of way about that. Whether you believe it or not, women, whether you agree with it or not, women, and I know you don't care about it, which is why you're in full support of her. And it goes back to what I said. You women want leaders until it's something that you don't agree with, until it's something that you don't like. But as a man, notice we still have to do it. I still have to show up. Obama still has to show up. Obama still has to represent. Obama still has to carry on this image. But now all of a sudden, instead of us talking about the things that he used to do in his policies, whether you agree with it or not, now the conversation that's being had also is, What about his wife, Michelle? How come she wasn't there? And of course, he's not going to make a big deal out of it, as a lot of men wouldn't, because you want to keep things in-house. But I guarantee you, he feels a certain type of way about it. He may never say anything, but I promise you he does. I promise you it bothers him that other men are looking at him. Other communities are looking at him, whether it's the black community or any other community, and everyone's looking at him. Yes, that bothers him that his wife is not next to him. He's the leader of a nation, but you can't even get your wife to comply because she doesn't like somebody, as if she was the president, as if she was the one that was making the decisions. But like I said before, once a man gets in a leadership position, his wife feels like she's in that position as well. So now you can't tell her anything. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Please do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, deuces.